Think you know what it takes to be truly respected by men? Prepare to have your perspective shifted. A Sigma Queen doesn't wait for respect. She commands it with 9 essential boundaries. Learn how setting clear expectations from the start can transform your relationships. Hey Queens, seriously, you are a queen. This video is for my Sigma women, the independent, self-assured ones who follow their own path. You know, the ones who don't need validation, but own their power. Having a queen mindset isn't about being bossy. It's about recognizing your inherent worth. It means you approach relationships from a place of abundance, not lack. You're a high-value woman, and your standards need to reflect that totally. Look, society gives women so many mixed signals about dating. We're told to be flexible, to compromise, to basically contort ourselves to keep a man. But there's a problem with that. When you constantly mold yourself, you lose yourself. And men? They lose respect for a woman with no boundaries. It's human nature. So this is a challenge to stop doing the 9 things that chip away at your crown. This can help you protect your peace and your power. Here's what a Sigma woman with a queen mindset never does for a man. 1. Never chases or initiates. Every interaction, she doesn't act like a cruise director for a relationship. You're the prize, not the pursuer. Your time is valuable. If he wants to see you, he'll plan it. Simple. A Sigma woman with a queen mindset absolutely, positively never chases or initiates every single interaction. This isn't about playing games, but it is about understanding the natural dynamics of attraction and respect. Look, when you constantly reach out first, the good morning texts, the what are we doing this weekend texts, the constant double texting, you are signaling something critical and, honestly, not very empowering. You're signaling that his presence is more valuable than your time alone and that you are responsible for keeping the relationship afloat. That's a huge burden, and it totally undermines your high-value status. The queen mindset dictates that she is the sought-after entity. She is the destination, not the one navigating the ship. She doesn't need to perform for attention. Her life is rich and full already, and a man should naturally want to pursue and integrate into that beautiful, established world she's built for herself. This means she lets him take the lead in planning dates, in following up after a night out, and in initiating conversations after a reasonable amount of time. This isn't a passive role, it's a powerful one. It allows her to observe his effort and consistency. A lack of effort is information. If he's not putting in the work to connect with her, she instantly knows where she stands on his priority list, and that's a beautiful form of self-protection. She understands that a man who is truly interested will make his interest known through consistent action, not just vague words or passive responses. She doesn't feel compelled to fill every silence or fix every lull in communication. That silence is important because it gives him the space to step up. When Sigma females are the ones doing all the heavy lifting, always suggesting the restaurant, always checking to make sure he made it home, always being the one to introduce a new topic, they're robbing him of the opportunity to show initiative. And honestly, they're robbing themselves of peace. She doesn't need to act like a cruise director, mapping out the itinerary for the relationship. That is his job if he wants to be with a woman of her caliber. She is the prize, the gorgeous landmark everyone wants to visit, and she knows it. Her time is incredibly valuable. It's spent on her own passions, her goals, her friends, and her self-care. It's not spent anxiously waiting or over-planning for someone who may or may not show up. So, if he wants to see her, he will plan it. Simple. He will propose a time, a place, and make the reservation. If he doesn't, she doesn't chase him down or send him passive-aggressive texts. She just assumes he's not serious and she keeps living her amazing life. This practice doesn't stem from ego, it stems from self-respect and the profound understanding that if a man truly desires her presence, he will move mountains, or at least send a proper calendar invite. This can help you stop being the emotional laborer in your relationships. You deserve a partner who is motivated, intentional, and respectful of your time and attention. That's what a queen expects, and that's exactly what a queen receives. By stepping back and letting him lead, she immediately establishes herself as a woman with high standards who is respected, not required. 2. Never sacrifices her core ambitions or career. Sigma females won't put their dreams on pause for his convenience. Their purpose is theirs, and it comes first. Look, a man who truly respects you elevates your ambition. He doesn't try to sideline it. The Sigma woman with a queen mindset absolutely never sacrifices her core ambitions or her career for a man. Seriously, this is a non-negotiable cornerstone of her identity. Her goals are sacred. Her passion is her own fuel, and she knows that shrinking herself professionally or creatively for a partner is the fastest way to lose herself and, ironically, lose his respect. Think about it. Why would a self-possessed queen willingly dim her own light? She wouldn't. Her dreams are not optional accessories, they are central to her being. She works hard to build a life she loves, and her purpose comes first, always. It's the engine that drives her, and she protects that space fiercely. Putting her career on pause for his comfort, or moving across the country for his job without a truly collaborative, equal plan for her own path. That's not love, that's self-abandonment, and that's a hard pass for a Sigma queen. Here's what I found. The moment you signal that your professional future is secondary to his, you invite an imbalance into the relationship that can be incredibly difficult to correct. You teach him that his aspirations matter more than yours. But there's a problem with that mindset. The man who truly respects and loves a powerful woman will celebrate her success, not resent it. He won't see her ambition as a threat, but as an attractive quality. He'll be her biggest cheerleader, totally. He will elevate her ambition. He won't try to sideline it or ask her to make herself smaller. If she's working late on a project, he sends dinner. If she needs to travel for a conference, he manages things at home with pride. He supports her growth because he understands that her fulfillment adds value to her life, and a fulfilled partner makes for a better relationship. Conversely, a man who constantly complains about her work hours, who subtly discourages her from taking on bigger roles, or who makes her feel guilty for prioritizing her career, is showing his true colors. He doesn't want a partner, he wants a supporting character in his own life story. This can help you filter out the wrong guys. The queen mindset knows that true partnership means mutually supporting each other's growth, not sacrificing one person's future for the other's convenience. She knows her independence and her achievements are what make her fascinating. They are part of the package. She chose her path for a reason, and she won't reroute it for anyone who doesn't respect the destination. Her success is hers, and she owns it. She protects her time, her energy, and her resources to invest in the woman she wants to become. She is financially secure and emotionally fulfilled by her work, and she brings that wholeness to the relationship. That is powerful. That is queen behavior. And that's what attracts a high-value man who is secure enough to love a woman who shines brightly. She will never apologize for being a boss. 3. Never accepts subpar communication, ghosting, vague texting, last-minute plans. Nah, that's low effort, and she demands high effort. She'll communicate her standard once, and if he can't meet it, she moves on. Here's why it's important. Accepting crumbs just trains people to keep giving you crumbs. A Sigma woman with a queen mindset absolutely never accepts subpar communication. This is a fundamental aspect of establishing respect. Her time and emotional energy are precious resources, and she won't allow them to be wasted on confusing, inconsistent, or minimal interaction. We're talking about basic decency here, honestly. Things like ghosting, vanishing without a word, are instantly disqualifying. That's immature and disrespectful, and a queen simply doesn't entertain that kind of behavior. Then there's the issue of vague texting. You know the drill, the one-word answers, the refusal to make concrete plans, the replies that take 24 hours when they're clearly active on social media. That isn't just bad communication, it's a lack of interest and effort. And she demands high effort, because she brings high effort to the table herself. She is looking for an adult partner, not a texting pen pal who treats her like a low-priority notification. Subpar communication signals that she is not a priority. A man who is truly interested will be clear, consistent, and prompt because he wants to lock down time with her. He won't leave her guessing or feeling anxious. This can help you maintain your peace. The Queen mindset dictates that clarity is kind, and ambiguity is a waste of her valuable time. She is straightforward in her own communication, and she expects the same in return. If he consistently defaults to last-minute plans, texting her Friday evening to see what she's doing tonight, she won't bite. Her weekend is already planned, because she values her life outside of him. She sets her own priorities. She's not an emergency backup option. If he tries to pull that move, she'll simply say, "That sounds fun, but my schedule is already set for tonight. Give me a call earlier next week to schedule something proper." This is how she communicates her standard once. She doesn't nag, she doesn't plead, and she doesn't teach him how to treat her multiple times. If he can't meet the expectation for respectful, intentional communication, she moves on. Why? Because accepting crumbs just trains people to keep giving you crumbs. If you settle for vague texts, that's all you'll ever get. If you tolerate ghosting, that behavior will repeat. A queen knows her worth is non-negotiable, and if a man's actions or words suggest she's not worth his best effort, she simply removes herself from his sphere. She trusts her gut and protects her dignity. This is why it's important. She doesn't waste time trying to decode mixed signals. She focuses her energy on partners who communicate with respect and intention, totally. That is the standard she sets for herself and for anyone who wants a seat at her table. Look, if this is hitting home, if you're realizing you need to ditch those crumbs, stop right here. Seriously, hit the like button and subscribe if you're ready to demand high effort. Let's keep this energy going. 4. Never plays the cool girl to avoid conflict. Sigma females are not afraid to express their needs or their disappointment. They won't suppress their feelings just to appear easygoing or chill. A Sigma woman with a queen mindset never plays the cool girl to avoid conflict. Seriously, ditching that persona is crucial for her authenticity and self-respect. The cool girl is a performance, right? She's the woman who claims she's fine with anything, who never gets jealous, who doesn't care if he takes 3 days to text back, who always laughs off disrespect, and who pretends his terrible, toxic friends are totally fine. Why? Because she's desperately trying to seem undemanding, low maintenance, and not like other girls. But there's a problem with playing that role. It's a massive lie. And you can't build a healthy, honest relationship on a foundation of suppressed emotions and fake acceptance. Sigma females are not afraid to express their needs or their disappointment. They understand that conflict, handled respectfully, is a necessary part of intimacy. It's where boundaries are clarified and trust is solidified. If something upsets her, if a boundary is crossed, or if she feels unheard, she will address it directly, calmly and clearly. She won't resort to passive-aggressive hints, silent treatment or martyrdom. She's an adult, and she expects the same in return. They won't suppress their feelings just to appear easygoing or chill. This means if he cancels a date last minute without a good reason, she'll state her disappointment. "Look, that's frustrating for me. My time is important, and I need a partner who respects our plans." She communicates her standard directly. She doesn't just say, "Oh, it's fine," and then secretly resent him for a week. That internal resentment is poisonous, and the queen mindset values peace above pretense. Here's what I found. Men who genuinely want a meaningful partnership respect a woman who knows her worth and is willing to protect it. They want authenticity. The cool girl attracts men who want an easy, responsibility-free relationship, which is exactly the kind of man a queen is trying to filter out. By showing up as her honest, feeling self, even when those feelings are negative, she is teaching her partner that she is a woman of integrity and that her emotions matter. Her honesty instantly filters out guys who are emotionally unavailable or afraid of adult conversations. This can help you protect your mental health. Holding in disappointment and swallowing your needs just to maintain an artificial chill is emotionally exhausting. A queen protects her energy. She knows that true vulnerability and authentic expression are what lead to deep, lasting connections, not superficial compatibility based on a script. She's not here to be his agreeable echo. She's here to be his equal partner, and an equal partner speaks her truth, even when it's uncomfortable. This is her superpower. She is authentic, always. 5. never drops everything for a last-minute date. Your schedule is sacred. You set your own priorities. If he calls you at 7 p.m. for an 8 p.m. date, she's already busy, even if she's just reading a book. It teaches him to be intentional and respectful of your time. A Sigma woman with a queen mindset absolutely never drops everything for a last-minute date. This boundary is vital because it establishes her intrinsic value and demonstrates that her life is full and rich, independent of his sporadic attention. Think about the messaging behind accepting a last-minute invitation. It screams, "My life is empty, and I'm just sitting here waiting for you to call." A queen's life is the polar opposite of that. Your schedule is sacred. It's filled with intentional appointments, whether that's a professional commitment, a workout class, dinner with friends, or simply dedicated time for self-care and relaxation. She treats her own plans with the utmost respect. If he calls her at 7 p.m. for an 8 p.m. date, her answer is a polite but firm no, and this no is delivered without guilt or over-explanation. This teaches him something crucial. He cannot treat her like a contingency plan or a backup option when his primary plans fall through. She is not his emotional convenience store, open 24/7 for his impulsive desires. She sets her own priorities. If she accepts the last-minute request, she validates his lack of foresight and encourages him to continue being low effort. He learns that he doesn't need to put in the effort to plan ahead, which is a massive red flag for a man's general level of intention and respect. But there's a problem with this behavior for her. Constantly being available chips away at her sense of self-worth and signals desperation. A queen operates from a place of abundance, not lack. She's comfortable in her solitude and proud of her busy schedule. If he calls you at 7 p.m. for an 8 p.m. date, she's already busy, even if she's just reading a book. Her time reading, recharging, or planning her next venture is a commitment to herself, and that commitment holds just as much weight as a formal business meeting. She honors her solo time. She doesn't have to lie and say she has dinner plans with friends. She can simply state, "That won't work for me tonight, but I'm free next Thursday." She is direct and clean in her communication, but firm on the boundary. This can help you protect your emotional space. By maintaining this boundary, she forces him to be intentional. She makes him think ahead, plan a proper date, and ask her out with adequate notice. This filters out the time wasters and attracts men who are planners and respect a woman who values her own time. Look, a man who respects you will coordinate his schedule around yours. He won't expect you to drop everything for him. This practice isn't about being difficult or playing games. It's about establishing the expectation that her time requires forethought, planning, and respect. A queen knows her value, and she ensures her availability reflects that high estimation of herself. This is her standard, and she maintains it unapologetically. Quick pause, queens. Are you seeing how protecting your boundaries protects your power? Drop a comment below with a crown emoji if you agree, and let me know your thoughts so far. Okay, back to the non-negotiables. 6. Never finances his lifestyle or consistently pays his way. She's generous, sure, but she's not his sugar mama or his financial backup plan. She expects an equal partner who is also striving for success. She protects her resources for her own freedom. A Sigma woman with a queen mindset never finances his lifestyle or consistently pays his way. This is a massive boundary and one that speaks directly to the dynamic of respect and equality in the relationship. She is generous, sure, especially when it comes to celebrating birthdays or treating someone occasionally, but she is not his sugar mama or his financial backup plan, and there's a huge difference between being generous and being a perpetual financial solution. She protects her resources for her own freedom. The Sigma Queen understands that her hard-earned money represents her time, her energy, and her future security. Her financial independence is a critical component of her personal freedom and power. She invests in her own goals, her own properties, and her own peace of mind. She is not going to compromise that foundation to prop up a man who isn't striving for his own success. She expects an equal partner who is also striving for success. This doesn't necessarily mean he has to earn the exact same amount of money she does, but it absolutely means he needs to be motivated, employed, responsible, and actively working towards his own financial stability. A relationship where she is consistently bearing the majority of the financial burden for his basic needs, his rent, his bills, his debts, is not a partnership, it's a dependency. And a queen does not seek out dependence, she seeks out equals. But there's a problem with consistently financing a man's life. It creates an unhealthy power imbalance where he is financially reliant on her, which often leads to a subtle but undeniable loss of respect. He may start to feel emasculated, or worse, he may start to take advantage of her generosity, consciously or unconsciously. A man who truly respects her and wants to be her partner will ensure he can hold his own and contribute meaningfully to the shared life they build together. She knows that financial integrity is a reflection of overall personal integrity. If he's constantly making excuses about money, lacking ambition, or expecting her to bail him out, that's a massive red flag that she will not ignore. This can help you maintain your independence. The queen mindset knows that keeping her finances separate and protected is one of the best ways to ensure she remains the author of her own life. She is not financially tethered to anyone. If the relationship ends, she can walk away cleanly without the entanglement of shared debts or financial support obligations. She is not interested in saving or fixing a man's financial life. She is interested in building an abundant life with a man who is already doing the work on himself. She will protect her assets, and she will expect the man she dates to be responsible for his own. That is the standard of an independent, high-value woman, and she will never compromise that for the convenience of a relationship. 7. Never gives unlimited chances to a man who disrespects her. 1 strike, maybe 2 for a minor slip-up, but that's it. She's not a rehabilitation center for men who don't respect women. She values consistency and integrity. If it's broken, it's done. A Sigma woman with a queen mindset absolutely never gives unlimited chances to a man who disrespects her. This is perhaps the most critical boundary for maintaining self-esteem and attracting lasting, genuine commitment. A queen understands that her energy and emotional resources are too precious to be spent on repeated attempts to fix or train a disrespectful man. She operates under a simple, non-negotiable rule. Respect is the entry fee, not a reward he earns later. 1 strike, maybe 2 for a minor, truly out-of-character slip-up. We're talking forgetting an anniversary or being a little late due to traffic. Those are human errors, but consistent, patterned disrespect, that's character. And a queen is quick to recognize the difference. Disrespect includes lying, cheating, gaslighting, belittling her feelings, making her feel small in front of others, or consistently breaking promises. When a man shows her who he is through these actions, she believes him the first time. She doesn't stick around hoping to change him. She's not a rehabilitation center for men who don't respect women. This can help you avoid years of emotional turmoil. She knows that trying to be the woman who finally tames the bad boy is a toxic fantasy that only leads to heartbreak and a diminished sense of self. A man's behavior is his responsibility, not hers to manage or excuse. When she communicates a boundary and he willfully crosses it again, she views that as a clear signal that he values his own convenience or desires over her feelings and her self-worth. That's a deal-breaker, period. She values consistency and integrity. She looks at his pattern of behavior, not his temporary apologies. An apology is just words. Changed behavior is true remorse. If the disrespect is a recurring theme, she draws a hard line. If it's broken, it's done. There's no 3rd, 4th, or 10th chance. She accepts that walking away from a comfortable but disrespectful relationship is a powerful act of self-love. It proves to herself and the world that her boundaries are solid, not flexible suggestions. This mindset ensures that she filters out low-quality partners quickly, protecting her peace and clearing the path for a man who is already emotionally mature and respectful. The queen understands that the longer she tolerates poor behavior, the longer she blocks the door for the high-quality relationship she truly deserves. Her dignity is worth more than a man's potential. She's not waiting around for a man to finally figure it out. She moves on to a man who already knows how to treat a queen. This is a crucial lesson in self-sovereignty. This one is a big self-respect moment, I know. So, if you're feeling empowered right now, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of our high-value content. We're about to wrap this up with the final, most crucial point. 8. Never tolerates being a secret or an option. She doesn't entertain situationships or guys who are confused about their feelings. She knows her worth is non-negotiable. You're either his focus or you're not in his orbit. Period. A Sigma woman with a queen mindset never tolerates being a secret or an option. This is a core tenet of her self-respect. She doesn't participate in anything ambiguous or undefined. Her position in a man's life must be clear, intentional, and respected publicly. She doesn't entertain situationships, those confusing non-committal arrangements that have all the responsibilities of a relationship but none of the security or respect. She knows that a situationship is just a placeholder, a comfortable arrangement for a man who is avoiding true commitment. A queen is not a placeholder. She demands clarity and definition because she brings certainty and substance to the relationship. Similarly, she avoids guys who are confused about their feelings or who are not ready right now but promise a future that never seems to arrive. She understands that confusion is often just a polite way of saying no. A man who is truly ready for a woman of her caliber is not confused. He is decisive and focused on securing her attention. She won't waste her valuable time waiting for a man to figure things out. She knows her worth is non-negotiable. This means she will not be the woman he sees only late at night, the woman he never introduces to his friends or family, or the woman whose existence he minimizes or hides. Being kept a secret is a massive form of disrespect. It signals that he is either embarrassed, ashamed, or most likely already committed to someone else. A queen deserves to be celebrated openly and proudly. This can help you demand consistency. If he treats her like an option, only calling when his primary plans fall through, or disappearing and reappearing without explanation, she removes herself from his orbit immediately. She understands that when a man treats her like an option, she becomes one. Therefore, she sets the rule: you're either his focus or you're not in his orbit. Period. She recognizes that accepting the role of the other woman or the backup plan is a deep betrayal of herself. It shows a lack of value for her own position. A man who truly respects her will make her the centerpiece of his life, not a supporting character in his chaos. Here's what I found. The moment she demands clear communication and consistent commitment, the man who is only interested in fleeting, low-effort engagement will naturally retreat. This is a powerful self-cleaning mechanism for her dating life. She doesn't need to have a dramatic confrontation. She just maintains her boundary and observes his response. If he leaves, she knows she saved herself months, maybe years, of confusion and heartbreak. A queen is a woman of substance, and she will only accept a substantial, clearly defined role in a relationship. 9. Never changes her appearance or personality to please him. She dresses for herself. She speaks her mind. She's already whole. She trusts that the right man will be attracted to the authentic her. So she won't shrink or change to fit a man's vision of a partner. A Sigma woman with a queen mindset never changes her appearance or personality to please him. This boundary is the ultimate declaration of self-possession and authenticity. She knows that she is not a customizable product designed to meet a man's specifications. She is an entire, complete universe. Her self-worth is internally derived, not externally validated. She dresses for herself. Her style, whether it's highly feminine, minimalist, or edgy, is a form of self-expression that brings her joy. If a man suggests she wear less makeup, or change her hair, or dress more conservatively, or less conservatively, she simply ignores the feedback. His preferences are irrelevant to her personal style choices. Her choices reflect her identity, not his desire. Similarly, she speaks her mind. If she's passionate about politics, her career, or a controversial topic, she expresses her opinions articulately and honestly. She won't mute her intelligence or pretend to be less informed just to make a man feel more comfortable or superior. She knows that a strong mind is a beautiful thing. If a man is intimidated by her intellect, that is his insecurity to manage, not her problem to fix. She's already whole. This is a fundamental belief. She doesn't need a relationship to complete her. She is entering a partnership from a place of addition, not completion. Therefore, she has zero motivation to fundamentally alter who she is to secure his approval. But there's a problem with changing for a man. The man who was initially attracted to the manufactured version of you will inevitably lose respect when the authentic you finally surfaces. You also trap yourself in a permanent act, which is exhausting and breeds resentment. This can help you filter out men who are insecure. A man who truly loves a queen will be attracted to her authenticity, her independence, and her fully realized self. He won't try to file down her sharp edges or turn her volume down. He will celebrate her uniqueness. She trusts that the right man will be attracted to the authentic her. This trust saves her immense amounts of energy. She understands that if a man requires her to shrink, to be quieter, less ambitious, or less opinionated, he is fundamentally rejecting who she is. So, she won't shrink or change to fit a man's vision of a partner. She stands firm in her identity. She recognizes that compromising her core self for approval is a direct road to losing her queen status. Her commitment is to herself first, always. She brings her full self to the relationship, and she expects the man she chooses to love, that whole person, flaws, opinions, and all. She never apologizes for being exactly who she is. So, we covered a lot today, queens. We really went deep on the boundaries that define a high-value woman. Remember those 9 essential points we walked through. A Sigma queen never chases a man for attention or commitment, recognizing her time is precious, and she is the one being pursued. She never sacrifices her purpose or her career goals, because she knows her ambition is what makes her whole. And most importantly, she never accepts disrespect, whether it's through subpar communication or repeated broken promises. We talked about how she sets clear standards, refuses to be a financial solution, and insists on authenticity, never playing the cool girl just to keep the peace. Every single one of these nevers is actually a powerful yes to herself. The power of saying no isn't about being unyielding or difficult. It's the highest form of self-love and self-protection. It reflects your values, your profound self-respect, and your deep-seated understanding that you deserve the best, in dating, in career, and in life. It's about setting the expectation that you must be treated like the queen you are. When you enforce these boundaries, you're not pushing away good men. You're simply filtering out the low-effort ones who were never meant for you anyway. This isn't just about dating, honestly. This is about life. This is about honoring your energy, protecting your peace, and maintaining your emotional sovereignty in every area. You are special, you are rare, and you are a force. Act like it. Walk with that confidence every single day. Own your space. Now that you have this powerful blueprint, it's time to move into action. Now, I want to hear from you directly. Seriously, jump into the comments right now. Which one of these 9 things, chasing, accepting crumbs, or playing cool girl, did you have to finally stop doing to feel truly respected? Share your story, queen. Let's build this community of Sigma queens and celebrate our power together. Your insight could totally be the game changer someone else needs to hear today. And if you're ready to take this self-empowerment to the absolute next level, you gotta check out this video right here on the screen. It's all about protecting your inner peace from negative energy and creating an impenetrable shield around your spirit. Seriously, click it. That video is the perfect follow-up to solidify the mental shift you just made. You'll love it, and it will give you the tools to keep your crown firmly in place. Thanks so much for watching, Queen, and I'll catch you in the next one where we continue building the strongest, most authentic versions of ourselves. You got this.